on YouTube. It's spelled exactly as it is here. You should be able to see my screen. If somebody wants to take a look at that, let me know that that's coming in all right. Let me know. I greatly, greatly appreciate it. What is this? Am I not live on this? It says I'm live. Am I live? I might not be live. Go live. Turn this down. Let me get a good check on this audio real quick. And if this works out better, maybe I'll start doing it like this in real time, just so you guys can see the stream. All right, I think that's working. All right, cool. Oh, I definitely need to move this mic over, huh? Bro, bring that mic over. Testing, testing. 1 2 1 2. Testing, testing. Hope that audio is good. Should be all right. All right. Boom. So now that we got that going, I want to make sure I'm not broadcasting any sensitive information. All right, let me do that. Bring this over. Bring that mic over. Testing, testing. 1 2 1 2. Awesome. Okay, cool. So the audio is good. We are officially live on YouTube. Bring this over. You guys can see that? You can see that screen? Good and clear? All right. It's good. I don't want that reverb in my ear. I'm going to bring YouTube up over here. Pop this chat out. Awesome. Audio is good now. Beautiful. All right. Cool, cool, cool. So now you guys got me on TikTok. You have me on YouTube. And my video on my end, I think is pretty good. So you guys should be able to see that. Let me know if you need me to zoom in on anything. We'll go ahead and get that done. All right. So what were we taking a look at? We were looking at, somebody said Casper. I'll try to find Casper. I know before someone asked about Casper, the problem was you couldn't actually see it on you couldn't see it on the chart. It was like it didn't have any information on it. It was weird. Let me do this real quick. Plug that in. Go over there. Pull my little holder up. So yeah. Spike Dog Ball, what's going on? I hope you're doing okay tonight. Whoa, stay. Don't you fall. You couldn't see it on. There we go. It was like it didn't have any information on it. All right. All right, cool. Now that that's done. All right. So let's try to see if we can find Casper, because I know there's a few of y'all that want to take a look at that. Spike Dog Ball, what's going on? I hope you're doing okay tonight. Don't you fall. Casper, we'll bring this up. And somebody give me the ticket for Casper. Because every time I feel like I go to Live Coin Watch, they may give me a few. See, I'm on Live Coin Watch now, and I typed in Casper. I think it's CSPR. But when I typed in Casper, they gave me like 4 different projects. But if it is CSPR, I think the price on that is 4 cents. Just want to confirm that. Casper, okay, cool, yeah. We'll take a look at that. Hey, somebody give me the ticket for Casper. Casper, I got y'all. So every time I feel like I go to Live Coin Watch, they may give me a few. See, I'm on Live Coin Watch now, and I typed in Casper. I think we got DYP too. Okay, so we'll take a look at Casper here after we've done that. So let's bring Casper over into our chart, see if we can find it. Casper, okay, cool. Perpetual swap. I don't want that. Can I get it on Tether? Casper, I got you. BitGet, Mexi, 3x long, KuCoin. There we go. We got DYP too. Okay, so we'll take. I think that's it. After we've done that. Is that not it? So let's bring Casper over into our. Try again. Perpetual swap. I want that. Can I get it on Tether? Boom. BitGet. That's not it. That's Casper and Ethereum. See, this is what I mean. They didn't really have a great pair to chart it the last time we tried to look at it. Is that not it? Casper Tether. Let's try that. Okay, cool. Got it. All right. Right off the bat, what do I see here? I think overall, Casper has actually entered into this very nice ascending channel. I do see that. Normally, these start to break to the downside. If I were trying to get a little froggy and maybe take a short against Casper, I might wait to somewhere in this area here. You see on this Bollinger Band, this orange line here, this represents our midline. I forget the actual technical name of this. I actually just started trying some trading strategies with Bollinger Band. This is not normally what I trade with. So you guys are kind of getting this crash course right here along with me. So in the Casper token, at around 4 cents and 2/10 of a cent, you see the orange Bollinger Band. If you're on YouTube, you can kind of see this with me, right? If I were looking at going to a long, I'd try to wait for us to either hit the support on the yellow line or maybe just below. But this is kind of tricky because if you fall out of this channel on the yellow line, if you fall out, you want to make sure that next candle doesn't print beneath and close the yellow line, because if it does, then you're probably going to actually start to trend to the downside here, right? So what you don't want to see happen is the next candle close, a next candle open, test the resistance, and then start to fall down. You don't want that to happen. What you want to see happen is you want the actual price of this coin to maybe fall out, but don't close, come back in, and then start to bounce kind of like that right there. All right. But just currently where we're at right now, you're already starting to roll over from being overvalued. So you've already kind of started the cool off period. I would kind of jump down to like a smaller time frame. We're just looking at that on the 4 hour. I would take a look at something like the 15. If I were in the 15, I might buy a relatively small position and just hold it for the next hour or so and see how it performs. All right. So if we wanted to do that, let me go back to the 15, and we're kind of going to do a little bit of paper trading here, right? And this is being recorded so we can see how well we do on this. Right now, make this a little bit bigger. The price on Casper is 4 cents, so just under 4.5 cents, right? I might wait till it goes here, buy. So I'm gonna put in a little buy line right here. Actually, let me put in a box. There's my box at. I can't see it on that screen either. I might buy somewhere in this area here. Right? And this red box is going to represent our buy. So if price comes down here, I would buy, small allocation, and then I'd wait to see if it's going to ride this level of support here. And if it does, that would tell me that this level of support has not been invalidated. It's respecting the support, and we'd probably start to bounce off there. So we'll come back sometime tomorrow. We'll take a look at, what Casper might do there if it does in fact come down. Do I think it could potentially push off to where we're at right now? Probably not quite, because again, I think it needs to cool down because we haven't reached oversold territory just yet here on the Staunch RSI. All right. But so far right now, that's where Casper is at. And if you do in fact fall out of here, you could potentially find yourself at not really a major move down, just again, another 1/10 of a cent down. So 4.2 instead of it being at 4.3, 4.5. If you fall below that, your next level of support is probably going to be at 4.233. So Casper isn't really making any significant moves. If it does fall out, which is one of the reasons why I think it could really respect this trend that it's in right now. But again, keep in mind that long term, these definitely fall to the downside. And in fact, you might fall out of it. But I'd keep an eye on the 15, try to trade that over the next couple hours. Then if that holds, go to the 4 hour. And if the 4 hour holds, I'd start taking a look at the daily. But the daily, looking at this right now, tells me you're probably going to see some price movement to the downside. Let me just stretch this out here, make it a little bit bigger. Again, keep in mind that as price was going up, your volume was tapering off, and that is a sign of a bit of bearish divergence. And that is on the daily, so that's a pretty significant bearish divergence. All right? Just keep that in mind. Again, if you fall out, you're probably going to be somewhere around 4.2, 4.1 price range. daily looking at this right now tells me you're probably going to see. Check in with my folks here on the YouTube. We did Casper. DYP, give me the elongated name for DYP, because sometimes these tickers can actually share. Excuse me, sometimes they can actually share a ticker. Dipus, is that it? Definitely want to make sure I want to get one. Yeah, there's going to be a little bit of a lag on YouTube. I'm not really sure what I might be able to do with that. I think that's just on YouTube's end. DYP, give me the elongated name for DYP, because sometimes these tickers can actually share. Can I chart UNG natural gas stock? Yeah, I can give it a whirl. Normally, I actually just chart crypto, but we'll try. Dipus, is that it? Dipus, okay. How'd you get fired on your day off? What's going on, family? We'll take a look at that. So we got Dipus. Let's see if they have something that we can use. Where am I at? There we are. Yeah, there's going to be a little bit of a lag on YouTube. I'm not really sure what I might be able to do with that. I think that's just on YouTube. I'll go with that. Pull this up. Y'all making me work tonight. I normally just hang out around Bitcoin and Ethereum, but for y'all, we'll get it done. I'm gonna make this smaller. So the first thing I try to do whenever I'm looking at a coin, say if it's a coin I haven't really looked at before, I'm always trying to get the actual structure of the chart. And if you guys are paying attention and you're watching this on YouTube, you'll actually be able to see my screen. And again, it's Crypto Glenn, spelled exactly as it is here. So what this tells me here is we're actually in a little bit of a descending channel. That's not always a bad thing. It just means that you might be going through a period of nobody wants to hang out and buy the coin, right? So I'm looking at this. Where do I want to try to anchor this? I'm always trying to get the actual structure of the chart. If you guys are paying attention and you're watching this on YouTube, and that's not the strongest wedge, but it's a wedge, right? Normally these wedges, they tend to break up to the upside. And sure enough, you had a little bit of a breakout here. The problem was it looked like it may have been a fake move, right? So you broke out, but then you actually gave back all of the momentum that you had essentially created. Now what you're trying to do here is you're trying to say, all right, is this candle going to have what it takes to try to push through to the upside? Now, again, keep in mind what I said. If you're long and if you're shorting, you want to try to pay attention to this midline. Right now, you're coming down and you're touching it, right? So let's take a look at the RSI and get a good understanding of where we could be. Coming out of overbought territory, and you technically have a little bit of a bearish divergence. That's not good. As price was going up, you didn't actually create a bearish divergence on the volume. This negative or this downward of volume is coming because you had a lot of sell-off pressure, so I get that. Really not too concerned with that. But if this volume does not creep back up, that will create a bearish divergence in terms of your volume. So I would say if you're not actually able to capitalize on the move that you need to see here, potentially you could actually fall down to around 20 cents or so. Not a significant move to the downside. And again, some of that is predicated upon what Bitcoin decides to do. If Bitcoin decides that it wants to roll over, with it being at 30,000 right now, you could potentially fall down lower to say like this bottom line at 19. But if in fact you can't push beyond this resistance, what I would take a look at is returning around to the 20. Hopefully not sub 20, but at least the 20 cent zone. And whenever you're looking at these descending wedges, what you're taking a look at is the move normally comes once you've reached around 75% of the move, right? Or 75% of the actual pattern that you're forming. So where we're at right now, and you guys can take a look at this, this is well over, I'd say 70-75%. So that move is going to be coming sometime soon here. So if you're going to surprise everybody and break to the upside, it's going to happen soon. If you're not, if you're going to retrace to the downside, it'll happen as well. So again, anywhere I'd say from 18 on the lowest to around 20 if in fact you do fall at a price range that you're at now. What else do we have here? Folks asking to see Quant. And if there's something you guys want to see here on YouTube or on TikTok, I'd be happy to show you. Just, again, keep in mind that you'll be able to see my screen if you are watching over on YouTube. But I appreciate those likes. Thank y'all so much. So we'll take a look here at Quant. Where's Quant? And if there's something you guys want to see here on YouTube or on TikTok, I'd be happy to show you. QRS, I passed it. There we go. 125. Yeah, Quant right now is kind of keeping a tight band. on its price action right now, and it's actually got a really strong level of support at 125 bucks. You just kind of see that as it being shown here in the volume profile. And I like using the volume profile because essentially what this tells me is if you're looking at from this time period all the way back here, the most buying and selling took price at this $125 mark. If we want to get this zoomed in, say like within the last month. Yeah, Quant right now is kind of keeping a tight band. Excuse me, it's still pretty much the same thing. You can see that it's got a lot of support here at the 125 mark. I will say this, I am seeing a lot of spinning tops or hammers. Now, the spinning tops that you see here, these represent indecision, right? And I just know that just from actually being able to study chart patterns. This is on the daily. Let's take a look at the 4 hour to see if maybe we can get a little bit better of an idea of what price structure wants to do. And right off the top, I can see it now. I mean, this isn't a very almost parabolic move. And I would say this is not the time to be trying to buy Quant. If I'm guessing, this is probably an overbought territory. And sure as shit, it's definitely an overbought territory. And as price is going up, you are creating bearish divergence. So see, now that I'm seeing a lot of alts that we've been taking a look at here actually putting in some kind of level of bearish divergence, I'm not extremely bullish on alts right now. What that tells me is Bitcoin needs to cool off before they get their time to shine. But that's something that we talked about earlier, right? Until we actually get Bitcoin to cool off and money start flowing into alts, I don't think that you're going to get any serious bids. I mean, after all, look at this. Bearish divergence, right? Look at this. You're currently in overbought territory. That does not leave me with a great feeling, and prices going up, but you don't have the volume to back it up. That tells me that you could potentially fall out of that price range. And if you do fall out, you might see yourself at, say, like 123, maybe even 120. Bottom of the Bollinger Band here, range 117. But I think it would take an act of God in terms of the whole entire market falling off a cliff, at least in the next day and a half, for us to return to the $117 mark. So again, where I think this could go, if I'm looking at it, I'm trying to connect the dots. I mean, this is a very, very, very aggressive ascending channel. You normally are at the bottom of that range. Again, I'd say about 120, 122, 120-ish. All right. So it's not going to be the end of the world. But again, if you miss the move on, say, Quant, I wouldn't be trying to chase this move right now. Okay. Illuvium. Yeah, we can definitely take a look at Illuvium. Y'all do me a favor. If you're watching this on YouTube, slap those likes for me. I appreciate it. We'll definitely take a look here at Illuvium. And if you guys want to take a look at something here on TikTok, let me know. We'll be sure to get it in the rotation. Keep in mind that if you are watching this on TikTok, you probably should be following on YouTube. That way you kind of get a chance to see my screen. For people that are on YouTube, is this setup working for you guys? Are you able to get a very clear illustration of what we're doing here? It's coming out well for you guys? Y'all do me a favor. You're watching this on YouTube. Slap those likes for me. I appreciate it. All right, let's take a look at Illuvium. I think I already have Illuvium charted on this setup. I do. There it is. 59 bucks. Illuvium, Binance. Again, same thing as other alts, and I think a lot of these are just going to follow what Bitcoin's doing right now. Overvalued territory. Maybe even to some degree, a little bit of a very small, I'd say even insignificant amount of a bearish divergence. Not anything to get concerned about. But now's not the time to be buying Illuvium. If you're a savvy trader, you know what you're doing. Maybe now's the time to actually be shorting Illuvium, right? Just because where we're at in terms of it being overvalued. The volume is currently tapering off. And in order for me to understand where we might find ourselves, actually got a little bit of level of support right here. If you fall below that, but now's not the time to be buying Illuvium. 58. Yeah, no real significant drops coming out of Illuvium. I think you're pretty much going to be in the range that you're at now for, a little while. Again, unless volume just really falls off a cliff here. Hang on. Whoa, let me straighten that back out. Yeah, no real significant drop. Swing high. Coming out of Illuvium. I think swing low. All right, so it's kind of like it's going to be decision time on Illuvium here. And keep in mind, like you're normally going to take the preceding pattern. And I'll be honest with you, this one here is just, you know, it's kind of crabbing out, really going sideways. I'd say if you're bouncing down into the symmetrical triangle, then potentially you could find yourself moving again to the downside. Longer term duration, this might put you somewhere around, say, like 54, maybe somewhere like around 53. I'd say 52 at the absolute lowest, but again, that's probably not going to happen in the next 5 minutes. I think that could be something that might play out, say, over a week if the entire markets themselves decide that they want to cool down. And just for where Illuvium is at on the daily, I don't know where necessarily you're at on the weekly. Not in any jeopardy of being overvalued by any stretch of the imagination, but yeah. Just know if you're going to put money into Illuvium right now, I'd probably be playing this on a smaller time frame, say like the 15. And the 15, you're normally going to try to trade this for like the next handful of hours. Because if you're looking at the 15, you've actually broken out of the symmetrical triangle, which, you know, is a good thing. But again, it's on the 15, so this isn't always the most reliable for a long-term trade. So you'd be looking at this trade over like the next hour. So could you buy Illuvium here and try and, I don't know, maybe push it to, say, if you're going to put money into Illuvium right now, I'd probably be playing. What are we at now? 59. I was going to say 60. I mean, you could, but I think in order to make that trade worth your while, you'd have to push it with a very decent amount of capital. So that risk to reward just honestly may not be there. Just really depending on how much you're actually working with. Going back to the 4 hour, I would look at maybe doing a very small short on Illuvium if it were me. Because when I see this, I see you've got a lot of dojis, a lot of indecisiveness in your candles on the 4 hour. And this one's getting ready to close here in 6 minutes. This tells me a doji represents indecision in the marketplace. So whenever you see a doji candle, the bulls don't have a clear advantage. The bears don't have a clear advantage. And they actually need, you know, a little bit more time to make the decision here. So if it's me, probably going to run a little bit of a short on Illuvium to at least the 58.5 mark, $58 and 50 cent mark, and see kind of where that gets us. Small trade. Small trade. A doji represents indecision in the marketplace. So whenever you see a doji candle, the bulls don't have a clear advantage. The bears. William, thank you. I appreciate you for sharing that and putting that on Twitter. Thank you so much. A little bit more time to make the decision here. So, midnight looks like Bitcoin might pull back. Let's have a little look. See. Bitcoin. Boom. There we go. I mean, look at that. God, I hope nobody's chasing Bitcoin right now. And I love Bitcoin, but just when I see moves like this, I'm like, it almost gives me the heebie-jeebies because I know like this kind of stuff is not, it's not sustainable. Ideally, what you need to have happen next is, let me pull out my little doodling stick here. Where is it? There it is. You need to really consolidate, right? Build a lot of good structure in this area. A lot of good structure. I look at this as like it's a bridge, right? The bridge can't keep going up if it has no support. Consolidation to me represents support. And once you've got good support, then you can kind of figure out, all right, am I going to go up or am I going to go down? You know, like what am I going to do? But yeah, this thing needs to consolidate. If 30 is going to be a legitimate area for Bitcoin in the interim, well, wait, go back. Yeah, we need consolidation because we need to be able to form support. A lot of good structure. I look at this as like it's a bridge. Need to be able to form support. You got us caught up here with your comments and questions on Tiki Talk. Any thoughts on RenQ? You know what? Let's look at RenQ. Because I think that's like the third time or so someone's asked about it. What's my YouTube? The YouTube is the exact same it is here on TikTok. It's Crypto Glenn. And it's live now. And so basically what you get to see on YouTube is my screen here. So I hope that helps. RenQ. Any thoughts on RenQ? You know what? Let's look at RenQ. RenQ Finance. All right. So RenQ Finance does not have any data on it. Bring this over if you guys are taking a look here on YouTube. You should be able to see this. RenQ currently does not have any data on it, which tells me this coin is not live yet. It's got a total supply of 1 billion, which is a lot less than we've seen in so many other coins. Does it give me the markets? It doesn't even give me the place where I can buy it from. So this tells me this is probably going to be like a pre-sale, right? So if you are, and this is me, we're having a conversation about this. I know absolutely nothing about RenQ. This is me just kind of give you my synopsis on what I think is kind of going on, right? RenQ right now is probably in some stage of a fair launch, a pre-sale, early access. What that means is, and I don't know if they take BNB, I don't know if they take Ethereum. Those are normally the two tokens of choice. You connect your wallet to a website, you pledge BNB or Ethereum, and based on how much you pledge, you're basically granted a certain allocation, assuming that you haven't totally missed the pre-sale. If you haven't, you can pledge your crypto. They'll give you an allocation, and when it goes live, assuming that they don't muck it up, there should be a market that wants to buy at launch because they missed pre-sale, that they missed early access. So if you've heard about RenQ, you can't buy it on any exchanges right now. You probably have to buy it through like a pre-sale or early access kind of deal. So that's RenQ right now. And because this looks like it might be the contract address, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go here. Hold on. So if you've heard about RenQ, you can't buy it on any exchanges right now. You probably have to buy it through like a pre-sale or early access kind of deal. So that's RenQ. I'm going to come over here to ETHScan. I'm going to come back over here to RenQ. This is probably the contract address. I'm going to type the contract address in there. And this is going to tell me that RenQ currently has around $1,687 in tokens. Looks like they pulled in 0.02 from Binance to the contract. Can I see how many holders they have? That doesn't make me feel good. But again, what this probably says is the coins themselves probably have not been doled out. Looks like they pulled in 0.02 from Binance to the contract. We're looking at that. Boom. Okay, so we were right. RenQ.io is the pre-sale address, and I probably have to connect the wallet. Yep. Boom. You see that right there. Connect your wallet. And they probably have a date where these coins will actually be released. So one RenQ is 4 cents. So far they've raised, my God. Okay, so we were right. They've raised $9.3 million. I'll tell you what, man, it's good to be the dev, right? I wouldn't put too much faith in this because these are all stuff that you can buy through a PR firm, but we're not going to get into the nuts and bolts of RenQ right now. Maybe I'll do a static video on that, or maybe we'll come back to it. So far they've raised, my God. I wouldn't put too much faith in these stories right here. The man that bought 22 million worth of Dogecoin minutes before Elon changed the Twitter logo has recently bought RenQ. Sometimes you get in the right place, right time, you get lucky. All right. What were you guys asking me about? Ocean Protocol? Yeah, Ocean Protocol. We'll take a look at Ocean. We'll take a look at Ocean. I won't put too much faith in these stories right here. The man that bought 22 million. All right. Ocean, so I mean, same thing. Again, same story as other alts. Top of the Bollinger Band, overvalued. As price went up, volume came down, a little bit of a bearish divergence. You're probably looking at hanging out around 36, 35 at the absolute most. 35 cents if you come down to the Midland on the Bollinger Band. If it's me and I'm trying to find a play real quick, I'm probably going to end up shorting this right now just because where we're at and the data that it's giving me. How do we look on the 15? Yeah. How do we look on the 5? Don't ever use the 5. I just wanted to see something. But yeah, I'd probably take a look at that. Would probably take a look at that. Possibly shorting Ocean for the next day, maybe day and a half. For anywhere from like the next 4 to 8 hours on the low side, day and a half on the long side. But again, if you can get like 2-3% out of this and you're short, I would not get greedy. I'd gladly close that position, take my proceeds, and go home. But Ocean just isn't giving you a whole lot of anything. I mean, it's kind of got the same structure as Bitcoin. There's not really a whole lot to go off of there. You know what I mean? Anywhere from like the next 4 to 8 hours on the low side, day and a half on the long side. But again, if you can get like 2-3% out of this and you're short, I would not get greedy. I'd gladly close that position. Don't ever do this, kids. You're kind of invalidating the trend when you do that. Yeah, still ascending wedge, ascending triangle. These things normally break to the downside, and which is doing right now. So if, you know, we're going to do this again. So I would say I am going to go for a short in this area. So let's say I just opened up short here. Oh no, god damn it, my box is messed up. Damn it. I'm saying that box right there represents my short. So I'm saying right now I would probably end up shorting Ocean Protocol and trying to see if I can get a 2 to 3% move out of that. If I put 10% or 10x leverage on that, that 2 to 3% actually turns into a 20 or 30% move. And with that, you know, you can really start to maximize your gains or, you know, see some decent ROI. So yeah, I would take a look at shorting. I'm saying that box right there, potentially shorting. So I'm saying right now I would probably end up shorting Ocean Protocol. Yeah, it's probably at that range. Potentially end up looking at shorting. Yeah, 100%. This is the time to take profits on alt. So if you have any positions that you've been in, William, now is probably the time because a lot of them, they're all following the same trajectory. Top of their bands, ascending channels, overvalued territory, bullish divergence. This price was going up, volume was going down, and that's never a good sign. And if Bitcoin needs to cool off, and it's probably going to end up cooling off, then that would further drag down alts. Yeah, look at that. With it being 12 o'clock, Bitcoin just completing that ascending channel, and right now the current candle is red. Again, this could fluctuate, but yeah. RSI, overvalued territory, traditional RSI, and the staunch RSI is a bit more sensitive. This is a bit more like rugged. So, you know, when you get oversold in traditional RSI, like you're probably legitimate overly bought or overvalued or oversold. And again, as prices gone up, prices come down, bullet or bearish divergence. So we need to wait and see on this. If it's me, I'll probably open up a little bit of a trade. Again, I rode it to the upside. I might ride it to the downside, but I don't see any significant fall in Bitcoin's price. Again, you might come down a little bit just to kind of cool the markets off, but again, still remains to be seen. But some of your alts, definitely, I'm probably taking shorts on. Let me see here. We talked about RenQ. We caught up on y'all comments here on TikTok. CPI report on the 12th, the last run until then. Might end up going down. I wonder if they're gonna do a CPI or a Fed meeting for the subsequent months here to follow, or is it just going to be on April and they're gonna take a break? I actually need to take a look at that schedule. The Durabit, that contract expires on the 12th. Is the 12th Friday? No, the 12th is Thursday. It's Wednesday. I feel like that is such an odd day for the contracts to expire. I wonder if they're gonna do a CPI. Okay, RenQ's on pre-sale. All right, so we were right. RenQ is on pre-sale. Or is it just going to be? You want to look at ETH? We'll look at ETH. Where can I go for the pre-sale on RenQ? I forgot the website. You just need to Google RenQ and make sure the website that you get it from is legitimate. Oh, someone put it down there in the chat. Stage 4. Okay, RenQ's on pre-sale. All right, so we were right. Matic looking bullish. Well, let's take a look at old Matic after we take a look at old Ethereum. Yep, same thing. I mean, all the alts right now just look the same. Damn near. A little bit of bullish divergence. Top of the band on, you know, the VPVR. You're probably going to retrace down to, 18.6, 1,865 potentially. Before you get there, you'll probably hit a mirror to stops along the way. Overvalue. Saw the double bottom on Ethereum. Right? And so those of you that kind of took that long on ETH, like, congratulations. You definitely made some money. Definitely made some money. It might be time to look at opening a short on Ethereum, though. I might look at doing that. A short-term short. Not like a long-term, but a short-term. What were we looking at? Polygon? Matic? Let's look at Matic on the daily. It's like high neutral, right? On the daily. It's like high neutral. What were we looking at? Polygon? Matic? Yeah, maybe. Potentially. Potentially. 117, 120, maybe. It breaks to the downside. Say like one, close to $1. Close to $1. China's markets are definitely opening up. So, I mean, that's, you know, it's pray to God they don't want to dump on us. I'm going to tell you right now, if everybody goes to sleep here and China wakes up and they dump on us, yikers. That's not going to be good. Litecoin is having their halving. I think it's like in August or something. Ooh, them Bollinger Bands are tight. And again, I'm still learning on Bollinger Bands. But if I wasn't using Bollinger Bands, I'd say, wow, guys, this kind of looks a lot like the ascending triangle we were talking about earlier. China's markets are definitely opening up, so I mean that's right. A price point could put you at. I'm gonna tell you right now, if everybody goes to sleep here and China wakes up and they dump on us, I don't know, 105 at least. It's not gonna be good. Litecoin is having their halving. I think. So yeah, don't sleep on Litecoin. Litecoin is definitely having its And again, I'm still learning on Bollinger. It's definitely having a moment right now. But if I wasn't using Bollinger Bands, I'd say, wow, guys, this kind of looks a lot like the ascending triangle we were talking about earlier. Right. Oh, did I go black? Let me fix that. Oh, whoops. There you go. So yeah, don't sleep on Litecoin. Tippy yay. Oh wow, Litecoin. Litecoin is focusing on 117 right now. All right. So we're gonna put our price targets at Litecoin 117. Is there any way for me to rotate that? Can I copy this? Where's my thing at? Oh, wow. Litecoin. Litecoin is focusing on 117 there it right is. Now. All right. I won't let me rotate it. I'll tell you what. Let's do this. Measure move. It's 18. So if I take one of these. That might be a little bit much. You're like, Glenn, what are you doing? Oh, it's not going to do it. Damn it. It's so annoying. I'm trying to figure out the time in which this could happen. What do y'all think? Do y'all think that's as long as it is high? It's not perfect. Say May, around May. $117 around May, potentially. How cool would that be if that little trick I just did actually worked? I'd be like, oh, y'all check it out. We done figured out how to do some other shit. How to actually get the timing down. We'll see. Somebody clip that. May 1st. May 1st, Litecoin, $117. We'll see. We will see. We got that on tape, so y'all be able to go back and take a look at it. If that works, I'm gonna be like, yo, that's kind of hype. Yeah, sometimes you just gotta play around with the charts. Sometimes you just gotta play around with the charts. Let me see here. We got that. Got that. Litecoin, was that it? That was the one. Looked at Ethereum. We'll see. 30K managed, feeling good. Always sign. What are you talking about? Is that 30K? Is that the trading portfolio? That's kind of hype. If that's the trading portfolio, you can definitely do some damage with 30K. You can definitely do some damage with 30K. Yep, just looked at Litecoin. In case you guys are wondering, like, excuse me, we got 2 streams going, one here on TikTok. My bad, YouTube. I just totally burped in y'all ear. I'm sorry. Yeah, we've got 2 streams going, one here on TikTok, one here on YouTube. If you're watching on YouTube, you can actually see my screen, my computer screen. So everything, like all the charting, all the TA and stuff that we're doing, you can actually see that on YouTube. And what's the YouTube, you might ask? It's Crypto Glenn on YouTube, spelled exactly as it sounds here. Yeah, we've got 2 streams going, one here on TikTok, one here on YouTube. If you're watching on YouTube, you can trying to make sure I got through all these chats. Hold on, y'all. Hold on. So everything, like all the charting, all the TA stuff that we're doing, you can actually see. I think we did. And what's the YouTube, you might ask? It's Crypto Glenn. Litecoin YouTube. Boom. Yeah, we definitely did. All right, cool. Nothing can stop us. Litecoin to the moon. Rachel says, hola, Glenn. Hope you're doing well. Hola, mi amigo. ¿Cómo está? ¿Y tú? I see. Not too bad. Not too good. Really? How am I feeling right now? Nothing can stop us. Yeah, I see. Very middle of the road, even keel. Even keel. Hola, Glenn. Hope you're doing well. Hola, mi amigo. ¿Cómo está? ¿Y tú? We're going to save that on Litecoin, too. I just want to see if that comes to pass. What can Litecoin do in the next 4 hours? Yes, I mean, it's still in this ascending triangle. Still. Yeah, man, I'm chilling. I'm here talking crypto with y'all. It's going to be a little bit of a longer day at work tomorrow. Somebody was asking me how much money would they need to invest in. Again, I don't know if they were actually talking about my company or if they were talking about if we were talking about assets. If they had a company that they were trying to get off the ground, how much money would they need to invest? So we never did get that clarification. You feeling the Bitcoin maxi is? Yes, I'm feeling the Bitcoin, Yeah, we've talked about this. Is Glenn a Bitcoin maxi? Truthfully, I don't have a lot of faith in a lot of altcoins. I think there's going to be some that are going to be just fine. But if you had to choose either Bitcoin or alts, I'm going to take the Bitcoin. If that makes me a maxi, so be it. I understand I can be a little biased. I recognize that. I can appreciate that for what it's worth. Excuse me. But, yeah. I like to think I give other cryptos a fair shake. It's just something about that little orange bugger, man. You want me to look at XRP? You want me to look at X? You know what? This is y'all show. It's not about me. It's about y'all. Let's take a look. I remember I told Echo the truth. God, man, this is probably 3 months ago. I said, if XRP makes a move to the upside, it'll probably be around mid-50s, 50 to mid-50s. If it makes a move to the downside, it's probably going to mid-20s to low 20s. And somebody asked me, how did I figure it out the other day? It was a giant symmetrical triangle. So I just did the measure move on a symmetrical triangle. So I'm happy to see that the price target on XRP panned out. 50 cents. God, man, this was probably 3 months ago. I said, you know, if XRP makes a move to the upside, it'll probably be around mid 50s, 50 to mid 50s. If it makes a move to the downside, it's probably going to mid 20s to low 20s. And somebody asked me, how did I figure it out the other day? It was a giant symmetrical triangle. So I just did the measure move on a symmetrical triangle. So I'm happy to see that the price target on XRP panned out. Quite cents. Maybe. Maybe descending triangle being painted on XRP. You go there, you go there, you go there, you go there. If it's all the same, I'll stay there. Sorry, XRP, y'all done. Y'all going back down to 44 cents. Oh. If in fact, again, keep in mind, I like what you're doing. Actually, no, totally invalidate that. Scratch that. Never mind. Thing about TAs, you got to be very very particular. So I was gonna say for a second that looked like it was a descending triangle, but I don't think so. You got a symmetrical candle bodies to candle bodies. If in fact. If it carries a move up, I'm about to make some friends right now. Let's go conservative. Bow. 55, almost 60. Oh, I just became somebody's BFF. It goes to the downside. Close to 44 cents. So again, keep in mind, symmetrical triangles, they could break out either way. This structure could in fact change at a later date. We don't know. And the reason why I say this is because I created the symmetrical triangle after the breakout had already happened. Normally I don't like to go beyond the candles because I think it tends to invalidate the actual pattern itself, but we'll rock it with it. We'll see where it goes. Like I said, this TA is never 100% accurate, but it's like 90, 96% accurate. So again, keep in mind. So almost 60, call it 55. If you go to the downside, call it like 44, 46 cents. This is exactly the same kind of question that Echo the Truth and I had. I said, if it goes to the downside, you're looking at like 20 to mid 20. If it goes to the upside, you're looking at 50 cents to mid 50s. Here we are. This shit works. This shit works. Yeah, XRP Hedera, like I'm telling you, I just became your BFF, right? I mean, you can see it. 55, almost 60 cents if it breaks to the upside. Because it is an ascending triangle, it normally tends to carry the pattern that preceded the triangle, or the move that preceded the triangle, the movement that preceded the triangle. The movement was an upswing. So you got about an 85, I'd say 85% chance that this carries to the upside. No guarantees. No guarantees. I think we're going to get a good pump in May. I actually think we're going to sell off in May. Glenn, why do you say that? Because if you look historically for investments in May, May is terrible. They have a saying that goes, sell in May and walk away, because people want to take their profits. Byron, I'm definitely not saying 10K. Don't y'all start that. Don't y'all start that. But a lot of people would say sell in May and walk away, because people want to get their money for the summer. They want to buy their toys, cook out, take vacations. A lot of times people will sell their assets in order to do that. So historically, May has been pretty bad for crypto markets. And again, if you guys are just getting here, because I see that the visitor number is fluctuating, welcome to everybody who's just getting here. If you're coming back, pleasure to have you back. If you go to YouTube and go to Crypto Glenn inside the search bar, you'll be able to see the screen that I'm looking at here. So we're doing a little bit of TA. It took XRP forever to get to 50 cents. It did. Yeah, it did. Again, Echo the Truth and I, we had that conversation. It's probably like 2-3 months. 2-3 months ago. On his live. He might not remember it. I remember it. I remember what I said because I was there when I said it. Yeah. Ideally, what you don't want to see happen is you don't want, let me zoom back in here. You don't want to fall back inside this triangle if you're going to move to the upside. You want to try to use this, what was resistance. You want to flip resistance into support and try to bounce and build off of this if you are going to make a move towards 50. You could fall back in and start trending down here. It doesn't mean you can't pop back out, because you can. We just saw that on one of Bitcoin's last ascending triangles. But if that happens, just know it makes your journey to that 55, almost 60 cent mark just a little bit harder. So in order to make it a good and clean move, you need to be using this as support, bounce, and keep trending. All right. It's usually at this time I should be transparent and just say, hey, if that actually happens, I might be a little salty, because at one point in time I held over 240,000 XRP. But I sold it because it was docile, it wasn't doing anything, and I needed to put that money into a different project that was going to make some moves. So I did that with Ethereum. It turned out to be a very good trade. So yeah. Can you look at coin that can go up 1,000x? I would, but I'm gonna be honest with you, Hood. That Google search is gonna yield you back so much noise, like it might not be worth it. It might not be worth it. You'd be better off having a coin in mind and, you know, trying to see if it can 1,000x. All right, so you want to look at Rainy. Let's see here. This is it. I would, but I'm gonna be honest with you, Hood. Rainy corn. Are we serious? It might not be worth it. I'm asking because if you guys just put a ticker and not like the full, yeah, it's been ranging back and forth from 30K for, I'd say, like the last 4 hours or so on Bitcoin. But I need to know about Rainy because, you know, a lot of times they coins can share the same names, they can share the same tickers. Filecoin, we looked at Filecoin. Filecoin is probably a little bit of a hole right now. Maybe if you're in profits, start looking at taking a little bit of profits. All the alts for the most part are sharing like the same move. They're sharing the same move. Let me do this. Hold on for a second. I hope this is not. But I need to know about Rainy because, you know, a lot of times they coins can share the same tickers. Is that live on? We good? That live's not getting a little wonky. All the alts for the most part are sharing like the same move. They're sharing the same move. Let me do this. Hold on for a second. Let me know. I hope it's not. Is that live on? We good? That live's not getting a little. That was a little weird. Let me know. I hope it's not. Are we back? Wow, that was weird. Don't know what happened there. Where was I? You guys were asking me a question. What were you asking me? Come on. Hold on. I'm trying to get something worked out with the broadcast here. Are we back? Wow, that was weird. Don't know what happened there. Where was I? You guys were asking me a question. What were you asking me? Oh, it's getting all types of crazy. Hold on. I'm trying to get something worked out with the broadcast here. Boop. Hold on, y'all. All right, there we go. Am I froze on TikTok? You guys are watching on TikTok. Let me know if I'm froze. I hope I'm not. Can y'all still hear me on TikTok? Let me know. So right now we were getting ready to look at live is on. Okay, cool. Yeah, we were gonna look at Rani. So I believe Rani is Raincoin. It looks like a unicorn. Is that right? So everything is still moving fluidly on the TikTok live because I feel like I'm standing still. I might be frozen just on my end. So right now we were getting ready to look at. I just want to make sure I haven't froze on TikTok. I'm frozen on TikTok. Fan effing tastic. Hold on. So I believe Rani is Raincoin. It looks like a unicorn. Is that right?
Oh, so in other words, you mad at the parent because he wouldn't
Everything
let
is still moving fluidly on the TikTok live because I feel like I'm standing still. I might be frozen just on my end. Am I back? I just want to make sure I haven't froze on TikTok. Am I back? I'm frozen on TikTok. Fan effing. Come on, TikTok. Get it together, TikTok. Okay, cool. We're back. All right. Let me try this.
So, okay, part 3. Of course, your boy
Hold on.
posted that Blur trade way too early. I posted it like.
Let me clear my throat.
But I re-entered this trade and I
Get it
re-entered
together,
other trades.
TikTok.
So I missed out about $300.
Okay, cool. We're back. All right. That's probably not gonna let me do it. Nope, it's not gonna let me do it. All right, never mind. That's not gonna work. I was trying to get folks on YouTube. Wait a minute. What happened? Okay, I'm back. I was trying to get folks on YouTube another visual to look at, but that's not gonna happen. All right. So let me know if you guys are on YouTube if that's the right Raincoin, and we'll go ahead and chart that one. My thoughts on Moonwell until we actually get an answer on that one. We're gonna check out Moonwell. I think when we started talking about Moonwell, I think they were at like 0.004 cents, and now they're at 0.007 cents. So, excuse me, definitely an increase. I'm back. Okay, cool. Yeah, how did you get fired on your day off? We'll definitely take a look at Ari. Yeah, so Moonwell is one that we were looking at here, and for those of you that are unfamiliar with Moonwell, it might make sense. Just kind of check it out, see if it makes the most sense for you to be investing in right now. This is essentially going to be an outlet for DeFi to take place on Polkadot, and I think if DeFi ever makes its return back to the prominence that it once had, especially on Ethereum, there are going to be people who are trying to find markets that are in DeFi that have not been tapped as much as they have in Ethereum. So essentially, they're going to be looking at other platforms. And I think Polkadot is one that could potentially see significant benefit from that. And someone was asking how much Moonwell do I own? Not as much as I would like, but it currently is over 100,000. Moonwell is what I own right now. So, just in the name of transparency. But yeah, I mean, if you jumped on Moonwell when we had talked about it a number of months ago, you're, up almost 50%. If my math is correct. So, over 50%. 50% will put you at 0.006. 0.006. When would you go in on a short on ETH? Let me take a look. Now. Excuse me. I would take a very small short on ETH. keep in mind I'm probably gonna play it into the next 4, 8, 12. When would you go in on a short on ETH? It's like the next almost a full day. Almost a full day. Because this is a short term, you really got to pay attention to it. You really got to look at it. And I think probably the next level of support with ETH would be around 19.7. So give or take around that area. So from where we're at now to 19.7. And again, if you put leverage on that, so if it's a 2% move, your ROI is 20%. If it's a 3% move, your ROI is 30%. It just depends. Matter of fact, I might do that as soon as this live is over, depending on where we finish at. So because this is recorded, again, Ethereum is currently at 1,920. I would actually look at taking a short in this area. Personally, what I would do. Obviously, you need to do your own research to see if that makes sense for you, Carl. But if you arrive at the same conclusion, then there you go. How was the trip? Crypto Size, what's going on, family? I'm at work working with my new site. Can't wait for the release. Okay, yeah, definitely. When you go live, let me know. I definitely want to check it out. The trip was good, man. It's always good to see family, some familiar faces, see some friends. But the only thing that trip did is it just kind of made me itch to start traveling more. So do I show my charts? I do. So Ramses, if you go to YouTube and just search Crypto Glenn, just as it is right here, you'll actually be able to see my screen. You'll actually be able to see the screen. And if for some reason, if you guys can't get to YouTube, just let me know and we'll try to spin it around for you. But I do. And then, you know, we talked about a lot today. We talked about getting in a position, getting prepared. If you're trying to figure out how to get prepared, if you go to cryptoglenn.com and you scroll down to the middle of the page, there's an ebook that I created. That ebook, I think you can ask other people that have it. I've gotten a lot of great feedback on this ebook, jam-packed with a lot of valuable information. It's the same information I used to make over my first 100K in crypto. Notice I said over my first 100K in crypto. And it's still the information I use till this day. When you buy it, I do have plans to come up with an updated version. You don't have to buy the updated version. I just turn around and I give that to you all for free. So whatever email you use on that form, please utilize a real email address. I'm not going to spam you. I'm not going to send, I'm not going to sell your email. But when I update the ebook, I do need to be able to get it out to you. So I'm going to do that to you for free. Then just put a valid email address for me. Deal? Deal. Thank you, Crypto Size. I appreciate that. See you in the chat. He says it's awesome. I love his ebook. I appreciate that. The next version is going to have a lot, even more of what we're talking about here in terms of like trading. And then the addition to come out after that may be its own separate book for, learning how to trade and technical analysis and things like that. Again, I appreciate that. Thank you, Jesse. So you see Crypto Size and Jesse are a couple of many that have actually picked up the ebook and they're giving you some feedback right there, real live in real time. Yep. So we're looking at Moonwell here. If you're on YouTube, you can kind of take a look at this. I'll see if I can pull it up here on a chart. I know one of the last times I tried to look at Moonwell, it was still just a little bit too young. Yeah, I think it's still going to be a little bit too young. Let's see, can I do this one? Nope, there it is. Sweet. So I love TradingView, man. They're like always updating their stuff. Oh, look at that. Moonwell is in a descending trend. We know how those normally break out to the upside. Yeah, so we're probably going to end up picking up some more of that. I love it. I love it. I absolutely effing love it. Yes. Buying more Moonwell. Buying more. Okay, so this is actually the first one on the 4 hour that suggests it still has more room to run on where it's at right now in correlation to Bitcoin. I love it. Absolutely love it. You could potentially see Moonwell run back to like 8. Go here. They're going to make that move sometime soon. I would be looking at this potentially making the move Okay, so this is actually the first one on the 4 hour.
Man,
That
dare I
suggests
say,
it still has more
in the
room to
next,
run on where it's at right now in correlation to Bitcoin.
what is this,
I love
10? Yeah, I'd say the next handful of days.
Absolutely love it.
I don't think it's going to happen overnight. It might not even happen. What's today's date? Today is the 11th.
Here, you know, I'm gonna make that move sometime soon.
Yeah, I'd say the
I
next.
would be looking at this potentially making a
We'll give it a week for right now. See if it makes the move in the next week.
man, dare I say, the next
Let's go real conservative on that move. So maybe up to 8 cents.
the next handful of days.
What's 8 cents, Glenn? What's the big deal? Well, it you know, it really depends. And this is something that we why do I keep doing that? There you go. So we'll go 8 cents price target. So this is why we stressed a lot of, so when I buy crypto, I like to buy it in multiples of 10. It means if I can get it in 10, I'm going to buy 10. If I can get it 100, I'm going to buy 100. If I can get it 1,000, I'm going to buy 1,000. If I can get 100,000, I'm going to buy 100,000. Why? Because once you cross a certain threshold, for every cent that the project moves up, I think you earn like $100. And I think that happens at 100,000. Is it 100,000? Let me do some math here.
So when I buy crypto, I like to buy it in multiples of 10. It means if I can get it in 10, I'm going to buy 10. If I can get it 100, I'm going to buy 100. If I can get it 1,000, I'm going to buy 1,000. If I get 100,000, I'm going to buy 100,000. Why?
I'm sorry. For every cent that it moves up, you collect $1,000. So for something like Moonwell, for every tenth of a cent that it moves up, I believe you're collecting $100.
100,000? Is it 100,000? Let me do some math here.
Yeah, for every tenth of a cent that it moves up, you're going to collect $100. So if I've got over 100,000 Moonwell and we're just under, yes, he's trying to make that move now. It's literally trying to make the move in real time. We're just about to encroach on 8 cents. So if I had it at 4 cents and now it's at 7 cents, about to be 8, I've earned over $800 on that since the last time we talked about it. And if we go to 8, 8.5, I'm going to potentially earn another $100 on it. And I'm not buying this for like the next 5 minutes. Moonwell is one that, again, I'm looking at this for a very long term, like play on DeFi. So I'm probably going to end up holding Moonwell, you know, for a substantial period of time. Along the way, could I take profits on it? Sure. Is that the responsible thing to do? Absolutely. But I want to try to maintain, personally, I want to try to maintain a certain amount of Moonwell at all times. So yeah, so if it's at 0.007 right now, when it goes to 0.0008, I'll end up gaining $100 on that investment.
I'm looking at this for a very long term, like play on DeFi. So I'm probably going to holding Moonwell, you know.
Yeah, so Moonwell looks pretty good. I like the fact that it's in the Descending channel. I like the fact where there's a lot of altcoins that are oversold. And if you're watching this on YouTube, again, the handle, Crypto Glenn. On YouTube, you can see the screen. If you're watching this on YouTube, you can kind of see what I'm talking about here. I like the fact that it's in a descending triangle. It's not overvalued when a lot of alts in relation to Bitcoin are in fact overvalued. So that tells me that this thing potentially still has a long way to go. What else does that tell me? That tells me that Moonwell is one that a lot of people might be looking at. If I can, I'm going to go over here to Live Coin Watch. I'm on Live Coin Watch. What am I doing? Coin market cap, I mean, there we go. It's been a long day. Moonwell or Moonwell Apollo, you can take a look at that. Come on, what am I looking for? I'm looking for a very specific thing. $2.4 million market cap. I like the fact that it's not super high. It tells me it still has a lot of bandwidth, a lot of room to go. And it's on 2,147 watch lists. Not bad. Not bad, not bad. If I want to look at the market cap here, I'm going to say, give me the all-time high. Why don't they have the Moonwell market cap? Do you have historical data? You do have historical data. Okay, cool. A little more. More. Actually, let me do this.
And it's on 2,147 watch list. Not bad. Not bad, not bad. If I want to look at the market cap here, I'm going to say, give me the all-time high. Why don't they have...
Do you have the all-time high data?
Do you have historical data?
All-time high was 6 cents. It'll probably get back there, and if not, surpass that. What did I spend on that? Just doing some quick forecasting here, guys. Give me a second. Yeah, so my return on that's going to be pretty decent. Pretty decent. Ramirez, I appreciate you, bro, for being here. Thank you so much. I'm just doing this because, again, I want to try to get as many people prepared for what's on the turnaround as I possibly can. That is Moonwell, yes. Evans, that is definitely Moonwell, yep. That was the right Randy? Okay, we'll take a look at that. Yeah, so my return on that's going to be pretty decent. Pretty decent. Ramirez, I appreciate you, bro, for being here. Thank you so much. Let me see if I can find it over here. I'm just doing this because, again, I want to try to get as many people prepared for what's on the turnaround as I possibly can. All right. That is Moonwell, yes. See if I can find this. Moonwell, yep. Over here. That was the right over here. Take a look at that. Is that it? Is it 2 cents? 2, 3. Split hairs, give or take. Yeah, that's it. Okay. Ooh. Okay. This one is very fragmented. Is it new though? It's relatively new. All right. So this is not gonna have. And on the 5 minute, wow, that's not gonna get it. There's a lot of gaps in here, guys. Who was asking me about? Larry, there's a lot of gaps on this chart, my friend. Okay. A lot of gaps on this chart. You're starting to fill some in, which tells me that the market cap might be getting bigger, but for something like this, we might have to look at this on something like Dex Tools. There we go. Here we go. Wrapped ETH. Market cap 11 million. Okay. You're starting to fill some in, which tells me that the market cap might be getting bigger, but for something like this, we might have to look. I got to be honest, right off the bat, I don't love the chart. I don't love it. How are we looking at daily? Market cap 11 million. Okay. You're gonna need a strong catalyst to try to bring this thing back up. I mean, you're not as low as you once were, so that's good. You're currently putting in higher lows, which is not a bad thing. You're also putting in higher highs. I mean, there's just not a whole lot of data to go off of. That ascending Brownian wedge is pretty nasty. These normally have a tendency to break to the downside. If you get below this level of support here, and you're probably going to be testing that here in a little bit. I mean, obviously, I'd be looking for this range in here. Right? I'd be looking for that range outside of there. You don't want to fall out of this range because if you fall out of here, you're kind of in no man's land. So, again, with a market cap of 11 million, this is probably a meme coin. It might be safe to say. You just have to hope the devs are really doing what they need to do in terms of marketing. And this market, would it be in a bear market? It's not impossible, but I will say that they have a little bit of an insurmountable task in order to try to pull this thing back up. But if you can get it, I mean, you've got a lot of, potentially a lot of meat on the bones here. Obviously, this level of resistance is playing out true here. But yeah, I think this is the area to watch here. You do not want to fall below this level of support. And I'm looking there on the daily. How do we look on the 4 hour? Yeah, same situation. You're just kind of crabbing out, going sideways, which tells me there's not probably a lot of people that are paying attention to this. What does the coin do? Can you tell me that? What does the coin do? If it's a meme coin, you know, these things don't really have a ton of shelf life. So you just need to be mindful of, you know, what the devs are doing. But yeah, I think this is the area to watch here. You do not want to fall below this level of support. Now I'm looking there on the daily. How do we look on the 4 hours? Larry, if you're still there on YouTube, if you could tell me what Rainbow or Rainy Coin does, you might get an idea. What does the coin do? Can you tell me that? What's going on, Crypto Granny? Happy to see you here. Hope you're doing all right. Crypto for Life, thank you for joining. Hope you're doing okay. NXRA, sure, let's take a look at that one. Whoa. Sorry, YouTube. I know y'all just got that feedback from the mic. NXRA. Alliance Block. What's going on, Crypto? Is that right? Happy to see you here. Hope you're doing all right. Next Era. What is this? Thank you for joining. It's up pretty strong. NXRA. Sure, let's take a look at that one. We'll chart it. I'll see if I can. It might be a little bit too new. I'm not sure how long it's been in. What was that one? NXRA. Yep, NXRA. Alliance Block. Is that right? Next Era. What is this? Oh, she's new. We'll chart it. I'll see if I can. It might be a little bit too new. I'm not sure how long it's been. All right, while this is getting loaded, again, you guys can always feel free to join me on other platforms. YouTube, Crypto Glenn, just hit the follow button. Twitter, Crypto Glenn as well. Just hit the subscription button. I actually got that backwards. YouTube, hit the sub button. Twitter, hit the follow button. And it's a great place to just kind of keep up with me in case they do kind of get their wish and get TikTok thrown off there, which I hope they don't do. That would really suck. But yeah, this is pretty much what we do all the time. I hop on here, start talking crypto with you guys. You guys can be coins that you want to look at. We talk about it, try to give folks an update as to what I'm seeing in the markets. Been pretty accurate in terms of calling a fair ball game, letting you know what Bitcoin might do, what Ethereum might do with ample lead time. So those of you that want to do your own research and see if you arrive at the same conclusions, you can definitely do that and see if it makes sense to try to take a trade on the information that we cover here together. Talk about it, try to give folks an update as to what I'm seeing in the markets. Been pretty accurate. Try it. Calling a fair ball game, letting you know what Bitcoin might do, what Ethereum might do with ample lead time. So those of you that want to do your own research and see if you arrive at the same conclusions, you can definitely do that and see if I feel like that's kind of invalidating. It makes sense to try to take a trade on the information that we cover here together. Too much. So being honest. That was tough. Should swing high that one. Support. Taking a look here at this Alliance Block Next Era. Obviously, this is a coin I've never heard of, excuse me. More so roughly in the channel. Volume saver enough as long as it respects this level of support here. Taking a look here at this Alliance Block Next Era. Obviously, this is a coin I've never heard of, excuse me. More so roughly in the channel. Volume saver enough as long as it respects this level of support here. Well, it looks like you respected this and you bounced off the 382 on the fib. So that's good. I don't see you hitting brand new price discovery anytime soon, but if you did, you'd be looking at around 12 cents. What I'm going to do now is just try to find out where there might be, if you're in a level of support here or not. Well, it looks like you respected this and you bounced off the 382 on the fib. Yeah, a little bit. Going back to March 23rd. March 18th, March 16th. So yeah, so you got a little bit of support here with this one. Ideally, if you can push beyond the current level of resistance that we have now, because technically you're under it, I want to say. Yep, you're under it literally just by a hair. And this is on the 4 hours. So in the next 4 hour candle, if you can get above it, close. And then the next candle, close and start to build off that. Then yeah, again, you might see yourself, what did we say? What did I just say? Like 12 cents? Somewhere around the tape back and let me know what I just said. But typically speaking, if you entered into new price discovery, especially with this being a newer coin, I think 12 cents is what you might be able to see. Because you got a lot. Let me look at that. That's liquidity that's trapped. That's liquidity that's trapped. Liquidity that's trapped. And look at that. Not too far away from 12 cents. So on Alliance Block Next Era, I hope that helps. I hope that helps. For the love, or Jonathan. One of y'all was asking about that. Glenn NX, all right, was Alliance Block until they got hacked. Okay. So is this the new Alliance Block that we're looking at? Alliance Block Next Era. I hope that helps. At what BTC price should we think about shorting? Joey Crypto, what's going on, family? BTC, I think, was in a position where you can start shorting it now. Yeah, it was running a bit hot. Glenn NX, all right, was Alliance Block until they got hacked. Okay. So is this the new Alliance Block that we're looking at? But if you're going to short it, it's not going to be a long short, guys. You're looking at like 4, 8, maybe 4 hours, 8 hours, maybe half a day. You understand? Like this isn't one that you're going to be able to short for like weeks on end. Sorry, my back was hurting. For weeks on end and then like be able to write that down. You know, coming off the move that you're looking for really 2%, 5% of a solid move. You put leverage on that. If it's 2, it's going to turn into 20. If it's 5, it's going to turn into a 50% ROI for you. But again, that's like a quarter of a day, half a day kind of trade. You're not trying to stay in that for too long. Like this isn't one that you're going to be able to short for like weeks. Rainbows and unicorns will be redeemable for exclusive core NFTs available through Ranny platform. In some cases, users will be able to top up their NFT purchase. Okay, so it's like an NFT project using Ether BNB. Excuse me. Okay, I'm with you. Yeah, so that's kind of where we're at with it. A quarter of a day, half a day kind of trade. You're not trying to stay in that for too long. So Armor, I hope that answers your question. If you were going to short, you should probably look at doing it now. And even I think I might do that as soon as I end the live. I'll probably look at doing one for ETH. I didn't put a box in here. I thought I put a box in here. What the French toast? I'm going to put a box in here. How much of a move is that? That might not be anything at all. Half? Yeah, so you could turn half a percent into what, 5? A 5% ROI? I'm just going to look at short of that. And I'm putting this in here because when I wake up tomorrow, I just want to see like where we were at when I went to sleep and where is it at now. And so before, right away, like that gives me a good indication of how the trade is doing. If it's performing or not. And I see hints that, suggest that it might make sense to do that. Let me take a look at these liquidity areas. Yeah, I mean, boom. Yeah, we got to 30, right? I'm sorry. 19, 1,942. Tried to take out an area of liquidity there. The thing is, it's a rather thick area of liquidity. So we're probably going to cool down before we try to run back up there and take out that level of liquidity. How are we doing on Bitcoin? Same situation. If I were to go back here and check, matter of fact, I can because I posted it. Yes. Let's do this. I hope I had that indicator on. 1,942. Tried to take out an area of liquidity there. The thing is, it's a rather thick area of liquidity. So we're probably going to cool down before we try to run back up there and take out that level of liquidity. How are we doing on Bitcoin? Look at that. Area of liquidity right there at 29 that we just took out. There's another one at 30 that we've taken out. Where's the next one? On the way to 31. Low area liquidity. Low area liquidity. So we may not have all that motivation for the market makers to try to push us up there to take it out, but we just took the one at 29 out. We took the one at 30 out. So right now, Bitcoin's chilling. We're relaxing. Needs a little bit of time to cool down. So if it's me, again, I'm going to put another box in right here. This box represents a short. And this is being recorded, so I don't need to mark where we're at on RSI because it's there. And I'll be able to reference that later on. All right, cool. Cool. We got more messages. Let me get caught up here. It was 10 cents when the migration occurred from Alliance Block. Okay, so it's actually going down a bit, if I'm hearing you right. Yeah, it's going down 20%. 10 to 80. 80 is 8 cents is 20%. No. 2 is 20% of 10 cents. Yeah. Yep, it's a new Alliance Block. Okay, cool. I'm with you. All right, well, then maybe I'll put that one on my long-term watch list. What was Alliance Block at when they got hacked? Or when the exploit happened? Bullish King, the night's going well, my friend. Just kind of sitting here talking with y'all, talking crypto. We were talking about Bitcoin hitting one of our long-term, well, not long-term, but short-term price targets on a video I had put out March 29th, really before March 29th, but March 29th was when I did the most updated version or recap to that video. And I was saying that, hey, 30K is where you need to be looking at. And just kind of talking about what's going on with BRICS, how I'm really not worried about it, how what's going on in the market really has my attention more than anything, because I think that's what people should really be focusing on. I think the market is what's important. I think having assets is what's important, because no matter what's going on economically, you know these bad times are not going to last. You know the Fed, essentially, world governments, world banks have to turn back on the printing press. And when they do, valuations of asset prices are going to go up. And we know what's going to happen. You're going to have the same people doing the same song and dance. Oh, it's all the rich people that have assets. They're getting richer because they did what they were supposed to do. They took their money. They bought assets. They didn't. You can't save your way out of where we're at right now. You have to put that money to work. You got to buy assets. So that's why I'm really not worried about what's going on with BRICS. I'm really not worried about what's going on with the banks. I'm focused on the market. I see what's going on with BRICS. I see what's going on with the markets. But intraday, that's not where my focus is. Intraday, I'm focusing 100% on these markets. Oh, it's all the rich people that have assets. They're getting richer because they did what they were supposed to do. They took their money. They bought assets. They didn't. You can't save your way out of where we're at right now. Jonathan Fisher, I have about 100K. 100K what? What are my top 5 cryptos? Bitcoin, Bitcoin, and Bitcoin. No, I'm kidding. Top 5 cryptos: Bitcoin, ETH. That's not where my focus is. Intraday, I'm focusing again. Moonwell, XDC. I always get to that tail end of the list and always gets like a little hazy. Like what do I like? I like Bitcoin, I like ETH, like Moonwell. What are my top 5 cryptos? Bitcoin, like Link. Top 5 cryptos, Bitcoin. Yeah, if it's building infrastructure or indexing, like the graph, I like it. I like Polygon, right? So from those that I've just listed, you should be able to pick out 5. It's hard. Like I feel like the first 2, they're always the same, and then 3 through 5, they kind of change.
Money Machine goes burr, yeah, and to a certain degree, it's already kind of going burr, right? Like, you knew when China came back online from the pandemic restrictions, they were going to put money into their economy. They have money into their markets. They have. The United States wasn't going to let that happen and sit idle, so they kind of had to do the same, but it didn't come directly from the reserve. It came from the Treasury, and I think what's going to happen is they're going to force the hand of the government to come up with a deal to take care of the debt ceiling. Now, if that happens, it's going to be more QE-esque behavior, but we know that's not going to last forever. So we need to keep, and I'm going to do a static video on this because I think some of you are maybe more visual. And so if I can post a couple graphics up there where you can really start to see what it is that we're talking about, you'll know where to look. But for those of you that maybe don't need the graphic, if you're taking a look at, say, like the Treasury's account, how much money they have on hand, how much money they don't have on hand, because it's going into the markets to either act as a backstop for banks or whatever the case may be. They have to be, that money has to be replenished somehow, some way, right? So when the money starts to dry up, asset valuations will go down. They start to put money back in the market. Obviously, asset valuations will go up. So you just kind of have to know where to look. Oh, in XRA 100K. Okay, I got you. I'm with you. What is Moonwell? Moonwell is essentially the engine that's going to drive DeFi on Polkadot. Definitely take a look at their website. Do I still have it? I don't. This is Moonwell. Total billion in supply. Where's your website? There it is. So they've got two. They've got Armidas and Apollo. Moon River. This is Moonbeam. This is DeFi. Supply value so far is 52 million. You can stake, you can do all that jazz. Take a look at the website, moonwell.fi. See if it makes sense for you. I'm not telling you to buy it, but what I am telling you to do is to research it. Because if you research it and you feel like it makes sense for you, now's probably a good time to buy into it. Again, if you feel that this makes sense and it has a spot in your portfolio to invest in, then I would strongly look at doing that. One of the things that brought me to it are these guys right here, Woodstock. And I love looking at who's moving into what. So a lot of these guys, they've been Coinbase Ventures, Woodstock, like these guys, they don't lose, right? So when I was doing my research, I was trying to figure out where is money going to. I saw that money was going to other L1s and some L2s in terms of trying to get in position for where they think the market is going to see the most amount of growth. And for this to show up on the radar of a few notable players who are in the Web3 crypto space, I said, okay, this is probably something I should be paying attention to. So I take a look at alt Coinbase Ventures, One, LensCap, Keychain Capital, Woodstock, C2 Ventures, like all these guys, and just kind of take a look and see what they're invested in and see what their track record is. I know what Coinbase Ventures track history is like. They they got a pretty good track record. Right. But yeah, I'd go and try to see, hey, what have these people been into before? How did they fare out? Are they still in? Do they have exits? Just kind of get a feel for who's in the space. And when I saw that, Moonwell and what they were and what they were trying to accomplish, yeah, this is definitely one I want some exposure to. I know what Coinbase Ventures track history is like. They got Moonwell. Go and try to see, hey, what have these people been into before? How did they fare out? Are they still in? No, I haven't. How did you get fired on your day off? Let's take a look at that one now. For who's in the space. And when I saw that, Moonwell and what they were and what they were trying to accomplish, yeah, this is definitely one I want some exposure to. Can you find it? No?
How'd you fight on your day off? Let me know if this is the one you were looking at. This one might be too small for Trading View. What's my market cap? 7 million. Yeah, this is gonna be too small. Where can I chart this? P coins. Very nice. Come on. There you go. She's trying. Whoa, 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 whoa. How old are you? 5 minutes. Let's go to the daily. Let's go to the daily. Yeah. I mean, it could be worse. You could be this little patch down here crabbing out sideways. Whenever you start looking at these meme coins, it's so hard because they really don't have any technicals, right? It's just like, it's just a hype cycle. So this one might be a little bit too young to draw a parallel on. How old is it? And this one goes back to July of 21. Wow. Yeah, I'd probably be careful with this one. I like the fact that it's come back, but I'd like to know what the catalyst is for this energy coming back into the project. Let me see. Let me take a look. How many holders? How many holders? So, I mean, 8,893 over 2 years. It's not terrible. It's not like great. I'm not gonna look at the contract right now. I like the fact that it's come back, but I'd like to know what the catalyst is for this energy coming back. I would just be mindful of this one. I'll tell you what, why don't we go over here to so I mean 8,893 AI base NFT authenticity verifying service. Okay, that's cool. It's kind of like the blockchain though, right? I would just be mindful of this one. I'll tell you what. Texture. So okay, yeah. So I mean, this is kind of like when people go to buy new releases on OpenSea, but there's been like spoof accounts that have been created. If I'm understanding this correctly, like this can prevent stuff like that from happening. I am looking for. Okay, yeah, so I mean, this is kind of like when people go to buy new releases on OpenSea, but there's been like spoof accounts that have been created. If I'm understanding this correctly, like this can prevent stuff like that from happening. Of course not. Dagnabbit. $12,500 followers, but when they tweet, it gets little engagement. Yeah. I might hold off on this one. What's the level of engagement? Tweet. Let's go. Give me an organic tweet. It's an organic tweet. What are they getting? Yeah, they're getting. It's not great engagement, but it's not like traditional robot canned responses. Crazy stuff. That might be kind of robot. January 2021. Nope, that's actually somebody. That's a real person. Maybe not. Nope, that's a real person. Cool. Yeah. This one, I mean, I'd watch it. Again, I wouldn't be putting copious amounts of money into this one. It's not great engagement, but it's not like
Do they have a? Let's try this. Actually, go back. Actually, no, put it right there. This one, I mean, I'd watch it. Again, April 9th. There's people talking about it. Never lose your wallet again. Ridge. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I'd watch this with a very fine tooth comb. I really wouldn't put copious amounts of money into it. I think if you've got 12,000 followers on Twitter, you need to have a bit more interaction than what you have here. I don't hate it. I think it's a cool take. But again, I'd want to see it have a little bit better traction on social media. I'd like to see more people talking about it. BT Smith, were you here when we covered Moonwell? It's essentially the DeFi protocol or the DeFi arm for Polkadot. And when DeFi comes back, I'm willing to bet that there's going to be more people who are trying to find areas in DeFi that haven't been tapped, like Ethereum, because they want to go back to, where there's going to be a lot of opportunity to be had. So they're probably going to be looking at Ethereum or Polkadot. BT Smith, were you here when we covered Moonwell? Moonwell. Is gold good to buy all at the moment due to inflation? According to some people, it's a pretty decent hedge. Yeah, of course, man. No problem. More than welcome, family. According to some people, it's a pretty decent hedge. It kind of depends on when you buy it. I think long term, it couldn't hurt to have it. I would also look at other asset classes that maybe don't take as much money to get into because the barrier entry is low. Say like crypto or stocks. I think if you can obviously have more and be diversified, then you should definitely do that. According to some people, it's a pretty decent hedge. Did I hear about the IMF digital currency? They dropped the info on it today. I have not. Can you DM it to me? Or tag me in it on Twitter at CryptoGlenn. Also look at other asset classes that maybe don't take as much. It doesn't cost anything. There's a website. The website looks good. I don't know. BT Smith, which one? Oh, Moonwell. Yeah. Velo. Yeah, let's take a look at Velo. I haven't looked at Velo in probably like a month. And I remember when I looked at it, I think it was like just sub a penny. And it's back. Yeah. I'm not going to lie. When I looked at this briefly, if I remember correctly, what I had read on it briefly from the website and from some things that I was looking at, Velo looked really, really appetizing. And I said to myself, that might not be a bad one to have some exposure to. Maybe not like go crazy all in, but at least to have some exposure to might not be a bad thing. And I definitely like the price point that it's in. Anything sub a penny has my attention. It's got 28 billion, so it's got fewer coins available than say like XRP. I know that's going to put a smile on some people's faces. And they're not on a whole lot of exchanges, right? So that lets me know that, okay, there's probably still some room to grow on this. But I remember seeing this, and I remember it being over a penny. By the time I looked at it again, and I'm like, no, it's kind of made the move. I want to wait to see if it's retraced. And it has retraced. So this might be one that I just buy a little bit just to try to get some exposure to. Again, if I remember correctly, and there were no skeletons in the closet that jumped out at me, I think I remember saying Velo was probably going to be a decent one. One that I wouldn't mind having exposure to. Crypto Rafi, what's going on, family? Hope you're doing okay here tonight. Just tagged me in the last video. Oh, I definitely got to check it out now. What's it about? No, don't tell me. What's going on, winner? Hope you are doing okay. If I remember correctly, and there were no skeletons in the closet that jumped out at me. Top 3 alts for next cycle. I'm gonna wait because I think while we've covered a lot that have the potential to do some really good numbers, I think the one that's really gonna melt faces hasn't even been created yet. If you take a look at 2021, you look at 2017. The coins that really started to run during those bull cycles weren't necessarily coins that were around from the previous cycle. Thoughts on Jasmy? I'd leave it alone. Just me.
just me. And I'll admit I have not given a solid look on Jasmy, but I know it's a meme coin, and I know it's been around for some time, and I believe that where we're at right now in this cycle, like, rarely do meme coins come, die off, and have second life given to them all over again. So if we're looking at this, and if you guys are watching this on YouTube, Crypto Glenn, you can see my screen of what I'm looking at right now. The Jasmy coin, I mean, this thing reached its heyday during the last bull run, right? So November 2021, and since it's just absolutely fallen into a cliff. I would even argue that it's fallen into a bit of obscurity. How many coins do we have? 50 billion, right? So I think that's right around what XRP has. And it's sub a penny. I like that. Maybe if you wake up one day and you're feeling especially risk on, you want to take a walk on the wild side, hey, buy some Jasmy. I can understand the logic behind that. I just don't know if this coin comes back the next go round. Thoughts on AMP? I'll be honest with you, I don't really have thoughts on AMP. Ampleforth? Yeah, 99. I mean, God, that's a lot of coins. It's a lot. It's a lot. I don't really have too many thoughts on that. I'll tell you what, because, you know, I try to give as much as I can a fair shake. Let me do a static video on it. Let me do some research on it. Someone's trying to get me to buy AMP months ago. Someone popped in a live and they were like gifting hard, and I really, really appreciate that. And thank you so much for the folks that ran those likes up, and for those of you that have dropped gifts, and really everyone for being here on this live, right? But the person, they were like dropping crazy amounts of gifts. They were like, don't thank me, just buy AMP. So maybe I'm thinking Ampleforth, because I know one of these was on the verge of hitting $1. Maybe it's Ampleforth, but they literally have the same ticker. Kind of. No, I lied. Ampleforth is AMPL. I just lied to y'all that fast. Yeah, so this was what they were saying, hey, I should get before it actually hit $1. So this is one that we bought strictly, hey, some dude jumped in the chat. They were gifting. Appreciated it. You know, just wanted to say like thank you in the way that they said, hey, you can thank us. Buy Ampleforth, bought Ampleforth, and it was sub $1. Now it's at $1.10. So, you know, we're up a little bit on that. Appreciate y'all. Thank you for the likes. Thank you, Kayla. Appreciate you. So that worked with Ampleforth, and I feel like I always get these two confused, Ampleforth and AMP. So this is one that we bought strictly, hey, some dude jumped in the chat. They were gifting. Take me to church. Let's make money in the 21st century. AMP provides assets like Zcash with instant verifiable assurance for any real world application. Okay, so we were just talking about assurance on one of my last lives, and because this is somewhat of a buzzword that's jumping out at me. Yeah, I'm gonna take some time, come over this, and I'm gonna do a static video on it. I'll do that. How about Stacks though? I haven't heard about Stacks. Wait, why do I feel like I've seen that logo before? A Bitcoin later for Smart. Yes. Okay. Yeah. Yes, I have. So this is what a lot of people are using to do the inscribed Satoshis with the Bitcoin NFTs, and talking about bringing DeFi to Bitcoin. Something that's like super cool about this is it Layer 2 Labs? Is it Layer 2 Labs? Yep, Layer 2 Labs, and if you guys are on YouTube, you can see what I'm seeing here. Layer 2 Labs raised $3 million to bring drive chains to Bitcoin network. Essentially, think about, if you will, being able to take the strongest element from Ethereum and being able to run it on the strongest monetary network we have, Bitcoin. And so that's kind of what a lot of the devs over at Layer 2 Labs are trying to do. So when I hear of Stacks, it reminds me significantly of what Layer 2 Labs is doing with Drive Chain. And if they can get that done and be successful at it, like, yeah, I can see why this is already encroaching on $1. Yeah, I actually might need to add that to the portfolio. And so that's kind of what a lot of the devs over Kayla's height. Yep. Yeah, I remember seeing about that briefly, but it wasn't from like the website. It was, again, I was trying to get more information on Layer 2 Labs, and then I was like, okay, well, who would be a competitor to Layer 2 Labs? And so naturally Stacks was there, and there was like one or two other ones that I want to say that I can't really remember off the top of my head. But if they're successful, yeah, that has the potential to pull energy and momentum away from Ethereum and bring it back over to Bitcoin. So yeah. Kayla's height. Yep. Yeah, I remember seeing about that briefly. Let me send you a Stacks NFT. I would need a different kind of wallet for that, right? Layer 2 Labs, and then I was like, okay, well, who would be a competitor to Layer 2 Labs? So naturally, Stacks. If I'm not mistaken, I would need a wallet for that. They're doing a bridge on ETH. Okay. The bridge. Listen, the bridge is on, say, like Ethereum. They kind of, I don't want to say they make me nervous, but I feel like the bridges, those are always the bottleneck in a lot of different projects, right? The bridges are like where the hacks happen. The bridges are like a weak point in the entire just kind of situation, the overall ecosystem. I feel like we should really be looking at how do we actually strengthen bridges to make sure that these things don't happen. So I need an Xverse wallet. Okay, cool. They kind of, I don't want to say they make me nervous, but I feel like the bridges, those are always the bottleneck in a lot of different projects, right? Gotcha. All right. So let me get the Xverse wallet, and when I get that set up, I'll let you know we can do the NFT send over. That'd be pretty cool. That would actually be technically my first Bitcoin NFT. Was AMP considered a security by the Fed? Oh, good question. Let's run that. Why do I vaguely remember hearing something about that? AMP. So let me get the Xverse wallet, and when I get that set up. Yes. AMP was invested in a they were included in an investigation. It was AMP, RLY, DDX, XYO, which I hate because I love XYO, RGT, LCX, Power, DFX, and KROM, KROM. Popping that Bitcoin NFT cherry. Yeah, you would. You would. I remember hearing everybody it's like a couple weeks ago, they were talking about inscribing NFTs on Satoshis, and I was like, oh man, that sounds like super cool. And then I literally got busy with doing something else and totally like fell out of the frontal part of my mind. And I'm kind of bummed about it because I feel like since the time I heard about it, it was like relatively new. Yes, ordinals. Yes. It was like new. People were having fun with it. And I was like, it's probably a good opportunity here. And then totally, like I said, just forgot about it. So yeah, I would definitely get the Xverse wallet, and I will let you know when it's time. Yes. Let me see here. It's killing me popping that Bitcoin NFT cherry. God, I don't know why that is so funny. That is so funny. Join, thanks for joining the live. Appreciate y'all for being here. For the cherry. Yes. I almost feel violated. Oh my God. I rock with y'all the long way, man. Y'all are cool with me. Y'all are cool with me. It's killing me. Popping that Bitcoin NFT cherry. Let me do that. Hold on. There we go. Hopefully that'll make the audio on the YouTube live stream fall off. Speaking of which, Banger message retracted. What are you over there retracting messages, Banger? What are you over there saying on my YouTube live that you have to retract messages? PG-13 Crypto Glenn. Nah, you took it there. We are fully ready. This is NC7. This is NC17. It's going. PG-13. We did a whole leap over PG-13. Gentle Giant Me, appreciate you for joining the live. Thank you so much. Listen, I appreciate each and every one of y'all. Could have been anywhere in the world, but y'all decided to hang out here with me, and we are talking crypto. And for that, I appreciate you.
This is NC7.
While I'm thinking about it, let me take a look at.
We did a whole leap over PG-13.
What's going on
Thank you so much.
in the
I appreciate each and
news?
every one of y'all. Could have been anywhere in the world, but y'all decided to hang
Bitcoin
out.
rallies to 19K, but analysts
I appreciate you.
say 17.3 retest could happen next. Clearly, this is an old article because Bitcoin is at 30K. There we go. Look at that. Bitcoin hits 30K to mark highest price since June 2022. If you all have been on this in this community for a long time, you know I've always said once Bitcoin gets to around 42,000, that's when I will flip from a bear to a bull. And we are well on our way. But until then, I'm not quite just bought in just yet. All right. I don't want to be too early. But right now, I mean, the markets say look good. Listen, if you are up right now, this is a profit taking day. Bitcoin right now is up almost 6.5%. I'm not saying sell the whole bit. Crypto Quincy, what's going on, family? Hope you are doing okay. You on late night? Yeah, we're burning the midnight oil right now. We're definitely burning the midnight oil. But if you are in profit, Bitcoin is up almost literally, it's just gone up since we jumped on Cointelegraph. And if you're on YouTube at Crypto Glenn, you can see my screen here. You can see what I'm looking at. Yeah, almost 6.5%. This is a profit taking day, you know? So don't be afraid to take those profits. No one ever got poor taking profits. XRP, 52 cents. What do we say? We were eyeing what? 55 cents, potentially even 60 cents. And here we are at 52 cents, slowly making our way up. Crypto Quincy with the lightning. We cooking with fire. This is the lightning round, y'all. So BTC, $30,108, up almost 6.5%. Ethereum is flirting with 2,000. Flirting with 2,000. Man, how y'all feeling about these markets right now? You think it's going to come down? I might short it. It's funny you said that. We were just talking. Literally, so I'm looking at Bitcoin right now on the 4 hour. And again, if you guys are on YouTube at Crypto Glenn, you can see my screen. Overvalued, bullish divergence showing up on the 4 hour. All signs point to a decent short in this period. I'm talking about you're looking at a 2%, maybe even 3% move. Of course, if you put leverage on that, you'd be looking at what, a 20-30% ROI. I'm not saying this is something that you should sit in for like a day or two, but I am saying, hey, 4 hours, 6 hours, 4 hours, 8 hours, maybe half a day, maybe a day at the longest. Take a look at it, see how the trade is shaping up. And if you start to make profit on that, get out of it. Scale down. Why? Because again, right now the markets are hot. They need to cool down. If you see that you're in the conditions that you're in now, don't be afraid to open up a shorting, maybe potentially take a ride going the opposite way. I rode this one all the way up from 25K all the way up to 30K. Decent trade. The same thing I utilized to tell me that, hey, the market was going to move up is the same thing I'm looking at now that's telling me, hey, this could potentially go down. On the 4 hour, you're overbought in a few different territories on the staunch RSI as well as traditional RSI. Your volume, as the price was going up on Bitcoin, your volume was tapering off. That is a strong sign of a bearish divergence, right? So if you know the market's got to cool down, you know, and look, so remember, we just did the box, right? Those of you that are on YouTube right now, we put in that box and I said, if I was going to go for a short, I would put in the short at this box. Guess what just entered into the box? The price of Bitcoin. As cryptocurrency was literally just asking me, do I think it would make for a good short? And I'm kind of going over my soliloquy of the boxes that I would need to make sure they would check to make sure it would make a good short. Bitcoin is entered in the box, right? This candle is going to close in around 2 hours and 30 minutes. So that puts us at 4 a.m. Yeah, I'm probably going to ride that trade till sometime tomorrow morning, sometime early afternoon. If it's a really good trade, I might slowly start to scale out and then take a look at maybe riding that into the later bits of the afternoon, right? But just from everything I'm seeing now, it does show that, yeah, we could go in for a potential shorting opportunity right now. I wouldn't be opposed to it. Would not be opposed to it at all. Same thing goes for Ethereum. You got a lot of these blue chips right now that are running a bit hot. If you rode them on the way up, don't be afraid to switch sides and ride them on the way down. Am I saying it's going to go down 50%? Absolutely not. I would be looking at, and when I say like a 2%, 3%, here's what I'm saying, right? So right now, you know, if you're on YouTube, we're looking at Ethereum. So where we're at right now, going to my next level of support, is 0.73. If you've got 10x leverage on that, that's 7%. That would be a 7% ROI that you would be able to get on your short, right? Let's look at the same thing with Bitcoin. Bitcoin's at right now, and we'd have to take a look at where the next area of support is. So why don't we do that right now while I'm thinking about it? Let me zoom out here for a second. We're looking at Ethereum. So where we're at right now, going to my next level of support, is 0.73. If you've got 10x leverage on that, that's 7%. That would be a 7% ROI that you would be able to get on your short, right? Let's look at the same thing with Bitcoin. Bitcoin's at right 29.6. Look at where the next area of support is. So I'm doing this in short intervals. 29.1. Let me zoom out here for a second. 28.810. And then somewhere in the range 28.2, so almost 28,300, right? So each one of these colored horizontal lines will represent your level of support. If in fact this does start to rescind to try to consolidate, and it should come back down to consolidate, so we can build structure, so we can see if this was a legitimate move or not. Because if it builds structure and it starts to consolidate, one might be able to make the argument, assuming that it cools down on some of these oscillators, that you could potentially be building up for the next leg up. I've said if we got past 30, you go to 31, right? Or Doug, Lynn, 31 comes after 30. But what I mean is, in terms of the checklist, I think if you want to say 40 is on the table, you need to clean 30, consolidate, go sideways, build structure, and then really start to build a case to pump up into 31 and 40. Because with this, it wouldn't be unorthodox for us to be, oh, hey, we cleared 30, which we knew was going to happen. We had that conversation on the 29th of March. We knew 30K was coming. But what you don't want to see happen is you got to 30K and then this whole entire thing starts to tumble and it doesn't build structure, and you don't. Then if that happens, you don't build the case for trying to push up into 40. And if you don't build the case for trying to push to 40, you're not going to get to 42. And 42 for me is a magic number from 69, a 50% retracement, right? On the fib would be 42, right? That 50% retracement on the fib is 42. You need to close that and flip that in order for me anyway to think that the bull market is back on. Until we get there, I'm not bought in just yet. So you don't want to see 30K come, not build structure, it tumbles down, and now you're back where you started in the mid, 20s or so. Do I think that could happen after 40? Maybe, but again, the hurdle is 30 and 31 that we have to get over first. Let me check your comments. You need to close that and flip that. See, my guy Q agrees. Yeah, we got superstars in the house tonight, man. Yeah, I know. Crypto really starts to pop on TikTok late night. I'm just saying it because I'll be on later sale. Let's see. Then I got all my bags in one coin because I'm riding on the SEC to settle. Good move. Hearing that, it makes me think that all your bags might be in XRP. I can tell you that that's probably not something that I would do, but the thing is, I might not do something, but that doesn't have to mean that has to be the same thing that you would do, right? If you're okay with it, I get it. Kayla, thank you for sending those roses. I appreciate you, love. If you're okay with all your coins being in one bag, at the end of the day, the person who gets to ride, live, or die with that decision is you. If it makes you a little bit nervous, I would tell you that's probably your gut telling you, hey, we probably need to diversify this thing a little bit. But if you're okay with it, if you like it, I love it. It's not something that I would do. I like being diversified. The thing about being diversified is you can't be too diversified, right? Because if you get too diversified, unless you've got really, really deep pockets, you can't go deep enough on all the projects that you're in. And if you can't go deep enough, it won't matter if the bull run comes back tomorrow because you won't be deep enough in order to have the gains really start to pile up, right? That's why I'm a firm believer in Diversify, but don't over diversify to the point where you're watered down. We had this conversation. I was talking with Crypto Ralphie and the boys not too long ago. How many coins, is everybody in? Some people said I've got 20. Some people said I've got 15. Some people said I've got 6, right? The answer is going to be relative to your own position. However much money you're working with, however much money you can afford to, put into crypto so that you can go deep on all the projects you're diversified in. And some people, they're only holding a few coins. That's fine. I think one of the things that made me successful in this space is not trying to catch every new release, not trying to catch every trend, not trying to catch every coin. Because when I first got started, if I was doing that, I would have been too diluted, too watered down, and I would not have been able to get the gains that I was looking for, right? So I would just say, if you're fine and you can sleep good at night, you're in a decent position. If thinking, okay, I need to get into more coins is something that you think about frequently, maybe start looking at diversifying. What's the YouTube? I got to see what you're seeing. Oh, you found it? Yeah, I just saw you over there. Okay. If anybody else that's wondering, it is Crypto Glenn on YouTube. You should be able to see what I'm looking at here. What's the site do I go to short? It depends on where you're at. A lot of times you get it done on BitGet. You can get it done on Binance. If you're in a territory that allows you to be in Binance, you can get it done on Durabit. If you're in a territory that allows you to be on Durabit, really just depends on where you are. What's the price range do you think BTC will dump because of the recession? Looking at, and again, so now that you guys are with me here on YouTube, I'll go ahead and show you this. Let me turn these Bollinger Bands off. So each one of these boxes, right, and really to understand what I'm showing you guys here, you need to be on YouTube at Crypto Glenn. It's literally spelled the same way as it is on TikTok. These boxes represent a gap, and I've been on this chart since 2017, 2018, really 2018 when I first started learning technical analysis. And one of the things I learned early on about technical analysis and wicks and gaps they need to fill again. Whenever you see a wick, like, can I zoom in on that? This right here, this represents at one point in time, the price came all the way down, but then during the day it was bought back up, and that's why you just have the wick. The thing about the wicks is this is trapped liquidity. And so whenever you see a candle body, right, this is the full body. It's not just a wick. Wicks, they need to fill. So wherever you have a wick, it has to be filled by a body, a full candle. What that means is price eventually return back to this area to snatch up all the liquidity that was represented at this price point. So just like you can have liquidity get trapped at the top, you can also have liquidity that gets trapped at the bottom. And so candles, whenever you're looking at a candle, you're looking at a motion, but you're also looking at the market filling inadequacies, also at the same time snatching liquidity. All right. That's wicks. The thing about gaps is if we see here, all right, this was a gap that was literally but a handful of weeks ago, back in January of 2023. The thing about a gap is Chicago Mercantile Exchange, they don't trade 24/7 like the regular crypto markets. They have traditional working hours. And so on Friday, if the price closes at a certain point, but then over the weekend it gaps up, what that can tell us is it doesn't matter how far this market starts to run up. And if you guys are following me here on YouTube, you can see this in real time. But eventually the price will have to come down to close that gap. And you see here we had a wick, or a gap rather, excuse me, that opened up Friday the 13th. Friday the 13th, 2023. January, right? January, Friday the 13th, 2023. And that same gap was closed March 9th, 2023. Now, for each and every one of these, and again, the gap is represented by the box that I have here, right? This gray box. Case in point, we had a gap Monday, December 21st, 2020. And that gap was closed Friday, June 10th, 2022. For every gap that's on this chart, I can show you where it was open and I can show you where it was closed until You go down far enough, and I call these things Bertha and Goliath. These are two of the only gaps that I've been able to find that are down at these price points where the gap has not closed yet. And this gap is down at 11,225, and we've got a bigger one at 9,850. So a gap right here and a gap right here. And these gaps, this gap is from Tuesday, July 28th, 2020. And this gap is from Wednesday, October 7th, 2020. We haven't filled these gaps yet. I've just showed you a number of instances where the gaps were created or wicks were created and we needed to fill. And I've just showed you two gaps where they haven't filled just yet. I'm gonna get rid of this mark right here just for a second. Yeah, and there's an area liquidity. There's a thick area liquidity at 98.50, which means there's a market that's waiting down there just to get picked up. So if people ask me, hey, if the recession comes 2023, 2024, potentially, where do I see us going? I tell everybody at the absolute maximum, in my opinion, it's 98.50 because, again, there's the gap just waiting at 98.50. The other thing we have to keep in mind is it's not uncommon. Well, 2024 is going to be the start of the halving. It's going to be the start of the bull run. It's not uncommon for us to see a bottom in the year of the halving. We saw it in 2021. I'd go back, and matter of fact, let's check because we might even be able to say that we saw it in 2017. Let me go here. I'm going to go to weeks. 18, 17. So the halving was in 16, right? Yep. Look at this. Is that a wick? The halving was in 16 and Bitcoin got to a low of $469. So it's not uncommon for us to see Bitcoin hit these extreme lows during the year where this is technically supposed to be the start of the bull run and Bitcoin goes off on a halving. Imagine being able to catch the low at 469 and get out at 20K. Imagine being able to catch the low at 3K and get out at 69K like Bitcoin did in 2021. Who's to say we don't get till next year, some shit happens and Bitcoin's like, I'm going all the way back down to 98.50. You would close those two gaps and then Bitcoin can then ride off into the sunset, well over 150, maybe well over $200,000 in total, like price appreciation. It's made that move before. It wouldn't be outside the realm of possibility or unorthodox for it to make that same move again. March 29th, 2020, Bitcoin wick 3,800. I have been waiting for this. See what I mean? See what I mean? Miss Evie back in the house. It's not uncommon. Do you see liquidity pools as one of your indicators to see shorts and longs in the market? Yep. Yep. You've got to be on a Pro Plus plan, I believe, to use that indicator. And for all of you that kind of get started with your journey into trading, like, don't be afraid to spend money on these websites. Like, I pay for a subscription on Glassnode. It gives me really good on-chain metrics to know like what potentially is going on in the market. Same thing with TradingView. I pay for the highest tier platform on TradingView just because I want to be able to use my customized charts and have as many indicators as I feel is necessary in order for me to make the proper decisions. Rand Vegas, blah, blah. Hey, man, it's not for everybody. It's not for everybody. All right? So when people ask me, hey, potentially, where do I see the absolute low being? I say, I could potentially see it being at, yep, there goes Bitcoin retracing. So if I would have had my long open, I would have made some money. But I'm on here with y'all. Yes, when people ask me, like, hey, potentially, what do I think this thing can do? I tell people, I see wow. I'd have made a decent amount of money. All right, I might have to close this live and get this trade going. Because Bitcoin is doing what I thought it might do and it's coming down a bit. But yeah, when people ask me what do I think it could do, that's what I tell people. And it's not me just pulling a random number out the crack of my reader, and I'm looking at the data and I'm analyzing it to the best that I can. Could I be wrong? Sure. But in terms of like having a sample size of saying, hey, every other wick that's ever showed up on any other chart has had to fill, or a gap has had to fill and close, I think it's a pretty good basis to go off of, you know. But yeah, when people ask me what do I think it could do, that's what I tell them. So you reckon the Bitcoin bottom is not in? I don't think it's in just yet. I think we need to get to. So let me kind of give you the backstory. So I've been saying since we've been on this uptick in the market, I said that Bitcoin, you can go back and check my old videos, it's on there. I said, in order to make me a believer and think that this is the start of the official bull run, Bitcoin would have to do a few things. We needed to get above the 200-day EMA, close and build off that. We have. We needed to get above 22K, close and build off that. We have. I also said that we needed to get to a point where we got above 42K for Bitcoin, close and build off that, and we have. And I'll show you why here, right? Let me close down these indicators real quick. Actually, you know what? Let me just pull this up on a totally different chart. Quick wrap. I got charts for y'all just here on TikTok. I got charts for like when I'm looking at stuff. I got charts for everything. I'm going to go here to the daily. I'm going to shrink this. Actually, you know what? Close this. I can't. I got to be able to see. All right. When we go to Bitcoins, and again, you would have to be on YouTube to be able to see this in real time. But just try, if you're not on YouTube, just try to envision this, if you will. So we go from the absolute highest that Bitcoin was at in 2022. At least that's what it says here on this Poloniex chart, at 69,076, all the way down to the lowest it's been, 15,398, and that was November 2022. When you hear traders talk about the Fibonacci gives us a good understanding of where price could actually reverse based on a set of numbers called the Fibonacci sequence. There's a lot of traders out there that don't like to use the 50% retracement on the Fibonacci. I do, because let me tell you that 50% retracement, when you're using this on a larger time frame, the 50 represents momentum changes, right? So from 69,000 all the way down to the first time we started closing below the 50. What that told us was the market was getting ready to change over. The last time we did it was back in April of 2022. We closed below the 50 and we have not gotten back over it since. That 50% retracement, if you're going down, you close beneath it, you try to come back up, but what was support is now resistance, and then you reject off that. That is a strong confirmation that the market has flipped and you went from a bull market to a bear market, all right? I was telling folks we went from 69 down to 55. You had entered into the bear market, because the textbook definition is anytime you go from your all-time high and you retrace 20%, that is the start of the bear market. And so we did that like in January. So I was telling people in February, this is a bear market. You can go back and check all my like older videos from last winter that I was saying. I know there's people that think we're just cooling off, but no, this is every bit of a bear market. All right. And so once we got to that 50, we closed beneath it. We tried to get back up. We got rejected 100%. It was in fact a bear market. Now, in order to flip me, I'm going to have to say we got to get back above 42, close on 42, retest what was resistance but is now support, and try to build off of that. That would put me in a better mindset to actually think that, hey, we're probably in somewhat of an official bull run. But again, could we see that happen? And then in 2024, which should be the halving of Bitcoin, the market hit a brand new, low? Sure, because we've seen it before. We literally just talked about that. I showed you all. It could happen. So it's just really about being understanding of where you're at in the current market, and just know if it happens, not to freak out. It's part of the plan. But for me, we got to get above 42,200, that neighborhood, close and build off of before I'm like, we're back in the bear market. Outside of that, I'm bearish, but I will take trades where the trades show up. I'm a trader. That's what we're supposed to do. For the love, I appreciate you liking that video or the live stream, man. Thank you so much. You have invested in yourself in non-negotiable. If you bear, you're going to be successful in any field you want to see success in. Yeah, 100%. You got to be in it for the long haul. I don't know anyone that's just kind of made money in this thing just like haphazardly. Like, I feel like you really got to be paying attention to what's going on. Even more so, like now, it's harder to make money in crypto than it was in 2017. 2017, the market was super volatile. It wasn't uncommon for Bitcoin to swing 8,000, dollars in one day. I remember doing lives where like it's at 14,000. Oh, it's at 10,000. Like these things would happen while the live was going on, right? We would actually see very volatile swings. We really don't see that now. So, yeah. But I hope that answers y'all question. All right. I count it because it happened. It happened. It had an adverse effect on all markets. So, yeah, I would count it. I would count it. I would count it. All right, y'all. We have been on this live for I don't know how long. It's about time for me to hop off. Maybe get some food, go to sleep, put in a couple trades because I'm a trader and got to try to make some money. All right. We made some money on the way up. Definitely going to try to see if we can make some more money on the way down. All right. So here's how I end my lives. Again, I want to say thank you to each and every one of you. You guys could have been anywhere in the world. You all, because I know I got ladies on here too. You all could have been anywhere in the world, but you decided to be here with me. YouTube, thank you so much. I appreciate you. If you're on YouTube, consider hitting subscribe and joining the community. A lot of times we're not just talking about what's going on in crypto, but we also cover digital collectibles on Vivi. We go live when Vivi has releases. And if you're unfamiliar with Vivi, just go to the Play Store, go to the App Store, type in VEVE, and just kind of take a look at some of the collectibles that they have. They have premium licensed collectibles, things that are going for absolute steals right now. I think this is probably going to be one of the best hidden gems come the bull run. They do everything from figurines, statues, interactive pieces of work, comic books from the golden era, silver era, the modern era. So definitely please check out Vivi. If you have any questions, just let me know. William on YouTube, I appreciate you for being here. Thank you so much, family. Thought-provoking truth. Nathan, thank you so much for being here. Kayla, I appreciate you for being here. Banger, appreciate you for being here. And how did you get fired on your day off? Larry, you too, as well as you, my friend Eric Michaels. Thank y'all so much for rocking with me on YouTube. Jesse, I appreciate you. Vice Evans, thank you so much. Carl from The Walking Dead. Thank y'all so much, man. I appreciate it. Let's see, did I get everybody on YouTube? I think so. Trigger Media. Trigger, if you're still here, man, sorry we didn't get a chance to get around to UNG. Maybe I'll do a static video for you if you're still here. I'll be able to cut that for you and let you know what I see. Why Entrepreneurship, thank you so much. That is everybody on YouTube. To my top viewers here on TikTok, thank you so much. ET Boys, Heather Reed Realtor. Listen, if you're in need of a real estate purchase or sale in the Tampa Bay area, please consider contacting Heather Reed Realtor. She's in Tampa Bay. She can facilitate all your real estate needs in the Tampa Bay Clearwater area. D Smith, user 24267, Matt Lunadong, user 4403, P Gang, Chris 8003, Omar Wallace, my man Dollar Venus, what's going on, player Jonathan Fisher, always good to see you here, my friend. Vote of love, my guy, thank you so much for coming to hang out. Put in talk snuck in, man. She didn't even say hi. Always good to see you here, Puddin. Oh, Henson, Thor and Henson, Mark Blair 713, what's going on, Mark? Crypto Mike 364, good to see you here. User 8947. Thank you for coming to hang out. Clifton White 661. Thank you for being here. Bertha God, recognize the God in you. Always happy to see you here. User 881835. Man, these usernames, I swear. JT, thank you for being here so much, family. Vince Garza, always happy to see you. Ash Jan, what's going on, family? Always happy to see you here, girlfriend. User 5353. User 755333. UTYT
Edgar 1980, Crypto Currently, Miss Evie, my BFFF forever. Always happy to see you here. Carl Doob, always happy to see you here, my friend. Music is relaxing. Music is relaxing. Thank you for coming to hang out with us. JoJo Jones 77-7, always happy to have you here. Thank you for coming to hang out. Boogaloo 22, Sean Thomas, Yanks 702. What's going on, Yanks? My homegirl Live and Learn. Please follow her. Follow all these top viewers if y'all don't mind, man. I appreciate the support. Thank y'all so much. Bezel 456, thank you so much for being here. Victor Mildew. Always happy to see you here. Drew, I'm sorry, man. Thank you for coming to hang out with us. God's favorite child. I thought I was God's favorite child. Thank you for being here. Raptor SVT2. Is that like the Terminator? F-150? It might be. I don't know. I'm a little bit of a car guy, so when I saw that, kind of just made me think about it. Rare VSC, thank you so much for being here. Unwrap I Am. Malik Gaming, thank you so much for being here, family. And my guy, Dennis is Katsu06. Again, I appreciate y'all for being here. Y'all could have been anywhere in the world, but y'all decided to hang out with me, and I appreciate it. Thank y'all so much. We'll be back live tomorrow evening to talk about everything that's happening in the cryptoverse. We're going to check on our trades. Excuse me. And even some of you that asked about some of these other projects, would I take a long, would I take a short? We're going to take a look at some of those, assuming that my charts have saved. I'm sure they have. If you guys have any questions, you know the drill. What's going on, Kimberly? And Kimberly, thank you so much for being here. Yes, thank you. You guys know the drill. If you have any questions about cryptos, anything Web3 related, in my most recent video, leave it in the comment section below. I will see it, and I will definitely get back to you. If you are trying to inbox me, you have to send a message first. I believe my DMs are open. I believe they're open on Twitter, but I definitely know they're open here on TikTok. Anything I can help out with, definitely let me know. And before we go, if you are on this live and you were on our FOMC bingo, the last time we did that when Jerome Powell was giving his speech about what the Fed were going to do with the rate hikes, if you have not gotten your prize yet, I need to know what your name is on Vivi so I can actually send you the item. If you have won any other prizes from any of our other lives, DM me because I need to know. I've got that list written out, so let me know. And if I haven't, I'll be sure to get it to you because sometimes things do slip my mind. All right. But yeah, that's all the housekeeping notes I have for right now. Again, come back tomorrow. You guys got any questions, leave them in the static video, my most recent video that I've posted below, and I'll definitely be sure to answer them. I appreciate y'all. Thank you for coming to hang out. Thank y'all for coming to hang out with us on YouTube. If you guys like this setup where you can kind of see my screen on YouTube, let me know, and I'll be sure to enter this into the rotation a lot more. I appreciate y'all. I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace. And if I have it, I'll be sure to get it to you because sometimes things do slip my mind. All right. But yeah, that's all the housekeeping notes I have for right now. Again, come back tomorrow. You guys got any questions, leave them in the static video. And I'll definitely be sure to answer them. I appreciate y'all. Thank you for coming to hang out. Thank y'all for coming to hang out with us on YouTube. If you guys like this setup where you can kind of see my screen on YouTube, let me know, and I'll be sure to enter this into the rotation a lot more. I appreciate y'all. I'll see y'all in the next one.